What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode, I believe, 10 of the Bottle Banter with the Booze Nest. It's my show, and I barely even know the name of it, so it's okay. Welcome again. My name's Baze. I want to welcome everyone again. This will be our last episode of the year, so there's quite a bit in store. Um, we may have some guests, we may not. Um, Today, I'm taking some time. I'm telling some stories, kind of reminiscing 2020. So, before I do that, I do want to mention for those of you that are new to the show that are watching on Facebook, please go to streamyard.com/Facebook to allow Facebook access to your profile so that your name shows up instead of you commenting here and it just showing up as Facebook user. So one thing I kind of wanted to start the show off with, on behalf of myself, thank you for watching the last 10 episodes. It's been quite a ride. It's been so much fun. It's one of the funnest yet nerve-wracking things I've done in my life. I thought of the idea. I'm like, you know what? It'll stick. It's gonna work. It'll be fun. Um, and it turned into something as big as what it is now. So I definitely, from the bottom of my heart, want to say thank you to everyone, not only watching from Michigan Breakfast Club, Facebook and YouTube, but also the Booze Nest, Facebook and YouTube as well. Um, some people might have seen that I made a post a little bit earlier today um, about a giveaway, and I also commented that a giveaway might happen today. So, um, I'm gonna get into the first announcement of the giveaway because there will be many. Um, and of course, there are multiple ways to sign up, but there is one that qualifies you, and the others are additional entries. So without further ado, I'm gonna make the announcement, and then we're gonna get into what's in everyone's glass. So the giveaway is for 5 blind samples. Um, and the winner will more likely be drawn sometime Wednesday on the 23rd. Those 5 samples will be given to you blind. They are color coded. And as you're tasting them, as you're trying them, you can message me and I'll tell you exactly what each one is. So, how to enter. Your first entry is commenting here on the post, Bottle Banter Rocks. There are also multiple ways that you can gain additional entries. One of those being um, going and giving the Booze Nest a follow on Instagram. Um, and the second way of doing getting an extra entry is by typing in the comments a story from this year that you've had about a pour that you actually had with somebody. And I guess the entire story itself. And of course, for those of you that are already watch or following the Booze Nest on Instagram, I'll tack that on as a second entry. So again, just to recap, 5 blind samples. You get them blind. I tell you what they are afterwards. What they are, we don't know. They are good. Number one, to qualify, comment in the comments that Bottle Banter rocks. Number two, follow the Booze Nest on Instagram. Number three, tell us about a story of when of a cocktail do so. I'm in here that you want to jump and tell your story live, and you a link that you can so that you can tell your story, I guess, for the live. As long as you're signed up before the 23rd, it does qualify for this giveaway. So what's in everyone's glass, what's everyone drinking. This will probably be shorter than our usual 45 to an hour episodes, so bear with me. And of course, if you have any questions or if you have any suggestions about what we can also do for future episodes, please feel free. Put them in the comments. I'll be more than happy to entertain everything. And based on the schedule we already have for January, it's going to be a great time. So what's in everyone's glass? Oh, very nice, Steve. Cheers, my friend. Actually, since I see you're in here, I'll tell one of my first stories. Um, it's actually with Steve that's watching. Ended up going over to his house after a night of poker when I was in Royal Oak and hanging out with a bunch of friends. Um, but then I ended up going to Steve's house to make a little visit, and he asked me, he's like, "Hey, what do you want to drink? Let's have a drink." And you're probably gonna laugh at this, Steve, because you know exactly what I'm gonna bring up. Um, we might actually have a guest in a second too. If our guest just wants to bear with me for a minute while I tell this story, and then we'll have him jump on. But um, I ended up going to his house. He's like, I'm gonna give you a lot B. I'm like, all right. I mean, I've had a few drinks. I don't know how good of an idea it is, but you know what? I'll enjoy a lot B. He probably gave me about 3 ounces of it. I've probably only drank like 1.5 because I started feeling it and had to go home. So I definitely, Steve, I owe you. We'll definitely have to get drinks again. And I'll actually finish it this time, so I apologize for that. I see we have a guest. If he's ready, if he wants to give us a thumbs up, we can pull him into the show. I don't know if he hears me or not. All right, sir. Welcome. What's going on? I can't hear you. I think you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you now. What's going on, man? Welcome.
Not much. Just thought I'd tune in, see how you're doing. I've watched a bunch of your shows.
Thanks, man.
Thought
I
they were
appreciate
great.
it. Thank you.
I know you were talking about stories and stuff, and I kind of wanted to share one tonight, if that's all right.
Yeah, be my guest. Yeah, be my
So
guest. Go ahead.
this says Old Granddad 114 because I go through a lot of the bottles, but this is actually a 1984 inaugural Jack Daniel's pour that my brother-in-law had been saving for years, and he was going to do it for a special occasion. And his house burnt down, and he lost one of the 2 half gallons that he had. And then he passed away a year and a half ago. And so his wife brought it for his memorial service and said, I can't think of anything more special than this, and opened it up and said, here we go, and let's all enjoy it. So I got a little bit left, and I was going to pour some of that. And cheers.
Cheers, brother. I'm actually having which pick is this? The Eagle Claw pick from Discount Drinks. So I see the bar behind you, so I have to ask, how long did it take to create that collection behind you?
Yeah, it actually, I have bottles from a long time ago. So I have bottles that are probably 15, 20 years old, but very few of those. I would say most of the bottles behind me are in the last 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
So, crazy hobby, people get crazy. So It's always enjoyable though.
Yeah, it's always a good time. I mean, one of the biggest rules of thumbs, especially with someone that I met, actually through my Instagram too, was he said it the best. Bottles are meant to be open and they're meant to be shared. So if you're not doing those 2 things, you're not doing it right.
So I do get sometime once in a while. I've shared a few pours with Yvonne up at the store at A&B. I try to make it around as many of the small stores I can. I've been to Smitty's with his son and had some pours there. Novi Party Store. I've been to Superfine, had pours there also. Tippins. So like I said, I try to make it around as many as I can, just to help support the small guys. I really appreciate what they do and how they share everything with us.
Yeah, especially during a time like this, because, I mean, not just the bars, but even like, or not just the liquor stores, but even the bars. If some a restaurant or a bar that you frequent is offering to go cocktails or carry out food, definitely go support them. I mean, and at the same time, like, tip, because that one server that might be there that day, it might be her one shift for the next 2 weeks, because some owners might be trying to give everyone equal amount of shifts, because they're probably working with like what's the word I'm trying to think, like they're probably working with some type of like one or two staff type of situation. I forgot what the actual term is in hospitality, but
Short staffed.
like they're working with. I mean, they're not short staff, but they're working with a staff that, for the lack of better words, like it's one or two people and that's it.
Yeah. So I know there's been a lot of the different distilleries also that have been offering the gift packs, which I think is fantastic. I know
Hmm.
that Valentine did it. I saw one from Mammoth. I've seen, I believe, Traverse City did it too, but I'm not
Hmm.
positive. So that's a really cool thing too to help give back. I know I've done an event up at Sugar House recently, but a lot of that stuff's going on, and if you can have the chance, do it, because like you said, these people are hurting, and it's nice if we can all share.
Yeah, I mean, just like I said, bourbon's meant to be shared. It's meant to be drank. It's not like, I obviously there's some situations where you want to keep a certain bottle closed or unopened, for the lack of better words, for a reason. Like, for example, maybe like your firstborn or anniversary, or, but it's not like you're just sitting there to sit there and say, hey, you know what? It's there and I have it, so I'm gonna just let it sit there. Because a
I
bottle,
pushed
to
it.
me especially, it's. Hmm?
I push it even farther the other way because everybody talks about that special bottle that they're always going to do there. Just like I shared about my brother-in-law, he never got to enjoy this bottle. Every day is special. I mean, why wait for tomorrow when today might be the special day, or we
Yeah,
might not have tomorrow? Let's have a pour today and enjoy it. I would have to say, I think I only have maybe a handful of bottles behind me that aren't open because that's
yeah,
what they're for. And anybody that comes around knows that whatever's here is available to drink.
yeah,
That's the whole purpose behind it. Let's share it. Let's drink it. Let's see what we think. So
yeah, and like, especially like doing all the picks that I've done with Breakfast Club this year, and we're so grateful for our members and the support from them as well. But like all these other picks that are coming out, like it's nice to buy other stuff as well. It's not like I'm just buying the Breakfast Club stuff and that's it. I'm buying as much as I can to support as many people as I can. Because at the same time, that one bottle eventually might help me with my palate. It might allow me to get a way better palate, which, to be honest, some of these have.
I also
And
have some on the shelf that are horrible, and that tells you how much better some of the picks are. So
yeah,
those are good too. It's like,
yeah,
wow,
and
you
like,
don't realize how amazing some of these are without those bad ones. And
yeah,
once in a while, you got to remember that there are some bad ones out there. I have a 1792 pick. Everybody says I've never had a foolproof bad pick. Well, so far I haven't found anybody that said, "Hey, that's a good pick." Everybody said
hmm,
that's awful, but I said, "Hey, look,
yeah,
see, there's bad ones." So be glad you got good ones.
yeah, and not just that, but at the same time, it's like, let's say, for example, you have an awesome pick, but there's one thing about that pick you don't like, and you go onto a pick with that distillery, you're like, you know what? I didn't like this from so and so's pick. I'm gonna try as well as I can to make sure I can maybe better that part of that pick. And
Yeah.
even if it's something as minuscule as it almost lingers too much in the finish, which for a lot of us bourbon people, there's no such thing as too much of a linger on finish. Like,
Yeah.
the more it lingers, the more we like it.
Also on the picks, I'm trying to think who it was. Maybe it was Dan Cavanaugh. We were talking about it because he's a huge 1792 fan. And
Hmm.
I went on a pick for 1792 for the liquor cabinet, and it was both the St. John store and the Lambertville store, so the east and west sides.
Yeah.
And when we got there, they brought a pick from Warehouse Liquors, and they're like, "We want it to be just like this." And
Yeah.
I'm like, the whole idea behind a barrel pick is to be different. Was that a great pick? Yeah, it was a great pick. But to me, I want something unique. That's the whole reason I like the
Yeah.
barrel. You know, hey,
Well,
this
it's
up on its
one
own.
thing to use it as a comparison, but you don't want to mimic.
Right.
Or sometimes, let's be honest, with some of these picks, you do want to mimic. You really do want to mimic them.
Yeah. But like I said, I like them where they stand on their own. And the big thing to me is if somebody's able to describe it the way it is, that's a good pick to me. You know, if that's what they like, if they describe it and they hit it on the head, it might not be your taste. But if they got the flavor down on the palate and, you know, the floral notes and everything, and they tell you what it is and it matches it, that to me is a great pick. Whether I like it or not, it's a great pick.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, like the last bottle that you bought, you might love that pick, but then I might have that exact same pick and be like, "Whoa, I don't know."
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember you telling, I think it was Brooke and I a few months back about all the different mammoths that you tried. Because I remember she was when we did the mammoth pick, she's like, "We have to get at least a sample of there," which I'm hoping by now you got
I
one,
did.
right?
I did get it. Yeah.
All
And
right,
it was a really good pick. I thought it was really good. So I like a lot of the variety though. So
yeah,
good old Dominic, you know, he's crazy about the different finishes and he's done some really wild stuff. And I love the bottle. I think they call it the Muse. That was done in a juniper wood barrel, and then it had previously had gin and sazerac or gin and absinthe in it, and it tastes like a barrel strength Sazerac drink to me, and it's unique, but it's really good. And then I just picked up, I think they had one that was finished in a Bordeaux barrel.
I heard
It's
about that one.
incredibly red. I'm waiting to see how it opens up, but the initial tastes on it were really good. So,
yeah, like especially now, like I remember, I think it was a Pinot Gris or a Pinot Grigio that Mammoth did like a month or two ago. If you didn't get there that day, it was gone. And apparently that was one of their best finished barrels this year. At least that's what I heard.
I think I tried it at the Adrian location when they first opened a few weeks back. And I wasn't really, you know, a lot of fresh crack bottles, I see people coming online and talking about how great they are. And I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of bottles when I first open them, I hate them. And, you know, I come back to them a month or 2 or 3 later and they're phenomenal. But right off the fresh crack, I'm like, I don't taste what these people are talking about. I don't pick up any of this, the smell or the floral. The Pineapple Express was one of them. And that was another one from Tippins. And I think it was another white wine barrel finished. And I tried it at Tippins. And I didn't try it at Tippins. I actually tried it with DQ up in Ann Arbor, Saline area. We fresh cracked it and hated it. Didn't pick up on any of the citrus notes they were talking about or anything like that. And then I see everybody raving about it and hit Dan Kavanaugh up again on it once again. And I said, you were raving about this. Tell me how great it was. And I said, we tasted it and thought it was awful, you know, but that was a fresh crack. And he says, oh yeah, fresh cracks are horrible. He says, let it sit and you'll like it. And
I forgot. I was talking to one of my buddies today because he ended up going to see Yvonne, and him and Yvonne were talking about Four Roses single barrel. And one of the things Yvonne told my buddy, and my buddy called me afterwards to see if I felt the same about it, was sometimes the neck pour is one of the worst pours you're ever going to have in a Four Roses, potentially. But I take that saying, and I take it a step further. I think the first 2 pours in a lot of bottles are not what you're going to get 2 or 3 pours later. Like,
absolutely.
For example, what I'm drinking now in this bottle of Eagle Rare is not what I was drinking when it was up to here. Obviously, I didn't drink this all tonight, but I hope I didn't. I wouldn't be talking as well as I am right now. But that's the main point.
There are a few bottles I've ran across that actually, from the time you open them until the time you finish them, they taste the same. But like you said, the majority of them, I don't feel that way. The majority, I feel that they mature or change along the way. But you're right. The neck pours, to me, it's not just Four Roses. I find that
No, yeah, like I think Yvonne was just using Four Roses as an example.
as an example.
And I like, to me, like, especially with some of these Eagle Rare picks that came out, like the Eagle Claw was nowhere near as good at the neck as it is right now.
Mhm.
I like, and like for some bottles, I don't know what you do, but like if I know I'm gonna have a few pours of a certain bottle that night, I'll open it 2 or 3 hours beforehand, and I'll just let it sit there.
A lot of times I pour it in a glass and let it sit open in a
Yeah.
glass for a while, and then maybe cover the glass a little while later, if I know I'm going to have it. Especially if it's
especially with a brand new bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, like, especially with a lot of stuff. I mean, for me, it's all hit or miss. It's all personal preference. Kind of like how I said earlier, we're going to like what we like, and if we don't like it, we don't like it. It's the end of the story. That's it. But I do want to mention one more time for those that just joined, because I just saw the views skyrocket. I am doing a giveaway tonight. If you comment Bottle Banter Rocks, you qualify for the giveaway. An additional entry to the giveaway is if you follow the Blues Nest on Instagram. An additional entry to that, which they don't have to be one or the other, you can do either one, is if you share a story, kind of like Bear is now, about a cocktail or a pour that you've had this year, or a bottle that means a lot to you. So you can get up to 3 entries in the contest. And I'll go through it probably sometime Wednesday, right before Christmas. I'll announce the winner. The winner of the giveaway actually gets 5 blind samples from myself, sent directly to you. You'll drink them. You can go one by one. You can go all 5 in one night. As you're drinking them, I'll send you the results of what each one is. So Bear, with you joining this, just so you know, I believe once you comment Bottle Banter Rocks later on, this will be 2 entries to you already.
Cool.
So that'll definitely qualify you. And of course, knowing the distance between us, if I have to ship it, I'll ship it, and that applies to everybody. Because kind of like how I said in the post, it's during the holiday season. It's all about giving and sharing with others. And with all the love that everyone showed me during my first 10 episodes of the show, thank you. And this is my way of giving back. Do you have any other stories from this year that maybe pop into mind as you're thinking of the holiday season, or maybe people that you shared pours with?
As far as me, I wanted to throw it out. Even it's been longer than this year, because this year's been horrible. I like to travel around. I like to travel around. I like to meet a bunch of people. I've went around, and like on the west side, I try to get over there a couple times a year. This year it's been really bad. Usually I try to get there 3-4 times, but I met up with a bunch of the people from different groups at one of the bars over there, and we did a bunch of pours. But I have to say, I've met so many wonderful people through the different bourbon groups. And just on a whim, it was shortly after I joined the West Side group that they were talking about doing a speakeasy. And I said, man, that sounds like a lot of fun. So my wife doesn't drink bourbon, but they were having live music and barbecue and everything. And I said, you know what, I'm getting tickets. And they sold tickets, and we went over and, got a hotel room, and it was a blast. And the people I met, like Dennis Ross was there, and Dan Cavanaugh, and Adam Burke, and it was just David Schwab. I mean, just a ton of people, and they're involved in a bunch of the groups, and wonderful people. And no matter where I've went, I really ran into. I've been fortunate. I really, I went up to the Mayor Grange event at Sugar House, and Yvonne, I think, was there that night. Was he there that night? I think he was. And then like Brian Butterworth. So I mean, people from all over, and it's just really good. Scott Henderson. And I'm trying to think of the rest of it, but it was huge. It was really neat that we all get together, and I think Brooke was there that night too. And so, yeah, it was a good time. We pulled up to the curb, and we were sharing pours out front before we walked in. It was like, oh, I just got a fresh Novi party store. Oh, really? How is it? Oh, yeah, and I got one from, and then I got the breast cancer one from Tippin. So they got opened right then, and it's time to share. That's what it's about.
Absolutely. Yeah, so definitely I appreciate you jumping in for a little bit. If you want to stick around, you're more than welcome to. I'll probably stick around at least for another 10 minutes, maybe tell another story or two of my own. But if you have to jump off, feel free. I definitely appreciate you jumping on. And again, thank you for the two great stories. And again, for those that just joined, I am giving away 5 blind samples from my collection. And all you have to do to qualify is comment right now, Bottle Banter Rocks. An additional entry to this contest is following the Booze Nest on Instagram. Another possible additional entry is if you share a story about someone or an event that you've had this year with about a cocktail or a pour that you had that you really enjoyed. Because let's be honest, sharing bourbon, drinking bourbon with everyone, we probably couldn't do it as much as we wanted to this year, but it's been a great time. And especially doing this, it's been so much fun interacting with everyone and seeing all the comments. Um, so again, I thank everyone for jumping on. I know at least me, another story that I guess want to mention would be the beginning. Starting off in February, knowing that with everything that was going on, I think it was February, maybe. I'm probably gonna get corrected in the comments, so it's okay. Or either whatever month we started this group, just the camaraderie that we all had from the beginning to the end. And there you go. Now you have 2 entries, Bear. Thanks for that comment. Um, just the camaraderie of Breakfast Club themselves. Like we started 7 months ago as just a group of guys that wanted to have fun, interact with other people within the state, and we just hit 1,000 members earlier this week, I think it was, and being able to meet so many people, not just through our barrel picks, but everything that we've done as a group. And I'm sure I speak for everyone else on the admin team. We appreciate everything that our members have done for us and everything that um, and not just what they've done, but being able to meet so many people and interacting through one thing that we all love, which ends up being bourbon. Um, so for that, I'm actually pretty grateful about it. Um, and just the amount of fun that I've had interacting with everyone as well. Is that another pour I see you just did?
Yeah, look at how red that is.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's the Bordeaux finish.
Oh,
A really unique finish.
very
So.
nice. And I guess I'll mention it again since I really want people to sign up for this because I really feel like giving stuff away. um, comment Bottle Banter Rocks on this post or on this video, and you will be qualified for my 5-pack blind sampler. And on top of that, an additional way to enter is to follow the Booze Nest on Instagram. On top of that, if you do not have Instagram, another way to also enter, or if you have Instagram and want to enter again, is share a story about a cocktail or a pour that you had this year with somebody in the comments or on Facebook or YouTube during the recast. And again, I'll be running this until probably afternoonish on Wednesdays. So anyone watching the recast, thank you for watching. Anyone that comments during this time still, thank you again. Um, I know I got a little bit more time, so if anyone does want to jump in, I'm gonna toss the link right here. Um, Go ahead, just copy and paste that link into your browser. If it doesn't work, send me a message on Facebook. I'll be more than happy to send you a fresh link. You can jump onto the live stream with Bear and I, and we're just gonna keep telling stories and having maybe 1 or 2 more pours. So again,
If you want to up this, I'll throw in 3 to 4 random samples, and I'll also do them blind. And I'll either meet up with somebody or I'll ship them also.
There we go. So that's 9 total samples, and I'll end up putting that in the post afterwards as well. So I'll call it 8. Whatever happens, happens. And we'll go from there. Maybe what I'll do afterwards, then I'm gonna tell you the colors I used or maybe if you just want to number yours, and we'll go from there. So that's
Okay.
8 samples that your potential 8 to 9 samples that if you win, you're getting them. You're gonna get them blind. We want to know what you think they are. We're gonna tell you what they are afterwards. Excuse me. And I definitely want to thank everyone again. And I know I sound like a broken record, but I appreciate everyone supporting the show in the last 10 episodes. As of right now, unless I change my mind, our next episode will be January 8th. So if for some reason I feel like doing an episode, obviously you guys will get the heads up. But with it being the holiday season, spend some time with your family. Drink good bourbon. Drink great cocktails. If you have questions about cocktails, definitely let me know. But I think what we're gonna do at this point, I think we're gonna call it a wrap. I'm gonna go ahead and post in the comments that this is open until Wednesday. And figure out what's going on now that you offered so generously to give 3 to 4 more samples, and we'll go from there. But to you, I feel like it's only fitting. I don't know if you do this. Um, I am going to kind of start something that we usually start on Breakfast Club. And if you want to feel free and join in, Barry, you're more than welcome to. Um, I'm going to mention it one more time. Sign up for the giveaway. 8 to 9 samples, 5 for myself, 3 to 4 from Bear. 1 entry if you comment in this post, Bottle Banter Rocks. An additional entry if you go follow the Booze Nest. An additional entry if you go and in these comments tell a story about a pour or a cocktail that you shared during this year. But Bear, I don't know how you feel about this, but I feel like it's only fitting that the last episode ends in a chug train.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and get it started. You can follow suit. To everyone that's watching, cheers. Thank you so much for a great um, episode. Thank you so much for everything this year. Um, and I will also comment that this train happened live. To you, sir, cheers. Thank you so much. To everyone
Cheers,
watching,
you.
all with the handy. Let's keep the train going. Bears was way longer than mine. So cheers, friends. Thank you so much. It's been a
Thanks
great
for having
2020.
me.
Thank you for joining me, man. We'll see
Cheers.
everyone during 2021 with so much more to come. Thank you guys so much. Cheers, everyone. Happy holidays. Happy New Year's. We'll see you again on episode 11 in January.